Hello there, and welcome to the Reflection Show with me, Martha Inspires. Today, we want to have an amazing conversation on public speaking. Most of us sometimes are very shy, or we feel that we are not adequate to stand in public spaces and speak. Or probably we want to make certain presentations in our classroom or even talk to somebody next to us, but we are kind of so not confident. Today, I have one of Ghana's great public speaking coaches in here with us for us to talk about public speaking, how we can all unearth our public speaking skills. I'll be speaking with Mr. Ibrahim Mustafa, should I say CEO of Me for Africa, public speaking coach, author, conference speaker, all the things that, and brand ambassador for Dream Village.
Right.
Oh yeah, so he's a man of so many titles, and then also I don't know how to put this one, whether he's a friend or against data bank. I don't know how to put it, but anyways, he's just here to help us understand that you and I can stand confidently and speak wherever and whenever that we want to. Let's take a breather. When we are back, we delve into more. I am Martha Inspires. Growing up, it was so difficult finding answers to all the questions that bothered my young mind. As soon as I found my purpose and understood my mandate, I made it a mission to answer as many questions as possible, bothering young people. I have mentored, inspired, and helped young people unearth their potentials through the Martha Inspires Foundation. However, I feel it is time to bring the conversation much closer to you. We have you in mind, you the young person. With my team of experts, we bring to you the Reflection Show, a show that focuses on addressing issues young people face, helping them to unearth their potentials, and giving them nothing but the best avenues in helping them solve issues that they may face in their young age. Join me, Martha Inspires, every Thursday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on Truth TV, the Reflection Show, restoring hopes. Welcome back from the break. Like I said earlier on, I'll be speaking with Mr. Ibrahim Mustafa. I won't just say it formally. Ghana, almost everybody knows Mr. Ibrahim Mustafa because he has spoken at so many places, virtually and also in person at a lot of programs. Thank you so much for joining me.
I appreciate and thank you for having me here.
Okay, so straight to the point, public speaking. When we say public speaking, what do we mean?
My name is Ibrahim Mustafa and I believe in confidence building. So what we are just doing is public speaking.
Okay.
I've been doing this for the past 15 years.
Wow.
And when I started, I used to go to books to read and know what's public speaking, get definitions and stuff. But growing up, I realized that public speaking or communication is just speaking from your heart about the things you know. So if you're a farmer, and you can stand and tell me that, oh, to farm, you need a tractor, you need this, you're doing public speaking. If you're a content creator, if you are an HR person, you're a pastor or imam, whatever you do, and you can stand in front of people and communicate. You're speaking in public. But these days, it has moved from that to the level that you can sit in your room, take your smartphone, record with nobody on site, and you can project that to millions of people. You are still speaking in public. So the purpose is to communicate.
Okay.
And to appreciate that you have the receiver, you have the sender, and you have the message. So if you can do that, you are speaking in public.
Okay. So how do I know I'm a public speaker? So maybe you are able to see based on what people can do. Right. But me, myself, how do I know that I'm a public speaker?
The first thing you should know, or that will tell you that you are a public speaker, is that you have a mouth, number one. And I don't know what you are going to use your mouth to do, if not to speak. So from when you were given birth to, you have the opportunity to communicate because you have a mouth. And also you have a message. Each one of us, we have a message to share. Let me also let you appreciate that it's not only mouth that we use to do public speaking. When we get further into the discussion, I'll let you appreciate that your body language. The way you use your body language can also make a difference. Sometimes growing up, they will tell you that if a child is telling you something and cannot look eye to eye to you, simply means that person is lying.
Right.
Right. So you know that is body language.
Yeah.
The way you even throw your hands around can make a difference. If I want to say one and I say one, it's wrong. That's two. So body language makes a difference. And whatever you do, whether you are running an NGO organization, you are running a church, a mosque, a football team, whatever you do, you need that aspect of communication. Because you need to project that to the world, to let people know that this is what you have.
Yeah.
And in the Bible or whatever it is, God even asked Adam, right? Did you eat the apple? It was communication, it was public speaking and stuff. So we all need to speak. If you are listening to this, take this serious. Sometimes you walk into the interview mall, and let me let you know, many people fail interviews not because they are discriminated against, but because they don't have the confidence to speak.
Yeah.
Imagine going to an interview. I was one of the chairmen of the interview, and a fine gentleman with master's degree. He came in, he was holding his certificate. We asked, where's the certificate? He looked, searched his bag, holding that. And it was due to lack of what?
Confidence. He was, should I say afraid or scared?
Afraid, and someone will be sweating under the air condition.
Wow.
Why? Because of pressure, fear. So public speaking is something that we should all endeavor to learn a bit of it and to start to do that. But I want you to also know that you may hear me speak English language. I don't fear to make mistakes because I'm not from US. I'm not from England. I'm a Sisala man. So if I'm speaking Dagbanli, if I'm speaking Sisali, I can make mistakes and be proud about that. But if you are local champion, you're speaking English and you're afraid of grammatic errors. So you may never progress. It's not an English class. Public speaking is not an English class. It's communication. If I can say something for you to understand, then you are communicating. And that is what you need to appreciate.
So now, after I have identified that I'm a public speaker,
Yes.
but probably when I try,
Right.
I'm still, shivering. Some too, it depends on the crowd. Some can, talk within their classmates. They can
Right.
talk, but once they move, like you said, maybe to an interview room and all that, how do I overcome shyness or stage fright?
First of all, you need to know why you are even shy. Sometimes, like doing this for that long, I used to just look at somebody and start diagnosing. Oh, go to. But some people growing up in our communities, a young guy, you can never even talk to your elders. When elders are speaking and you go there they will shut you down. Especially ladies. In some communities, if you're a lady, you are always at the background. They don't even allow you to speak. So growing up, you have that psychological whatever in you that, oh, I'm not supposed to speak. Some people too, for example, if you go to a church setting or a funeral or a mosque or a serious place, office space, you have a little child and the pastor is preaching and that little boy or girl starts to sing Fancy Gadam songs loud in that church. As a mother, you may even slap that little
child.
Right. So growing up, people feel like, oh, am I not supposed to speak? People have ideas. They want to talk about that in class. The teacher shuts them down. Young people want to talk about sex. They've learned that on TV. They want to talk. We don't talk about that. So you see that they shut you down. So growing up, some people, based on those things, you are shattered. If you identify why you are afraid to speak, then you need to take that conscious method to start to practice. Move out of that comfort zone. Start to reprogram your mind. Start to believe that speaking is not just something that is fancy, but speaking can give you a lot of opportunities. So what I want you to know also is that, why do you want to speak? You should speak because someone is struggling in life. Someone is going through tough times. Someone has lost a spouse. Someone is like devastated, and you just say these words, don't worry, everything will be okay. And you can save that person. There are people who are going through, maybe in their minds, they are going through suicidal thoughts because they've lost jobs, they are owing, they've gone through like a lot of bad things in life. All we just need to do is to give them hope. So if your voice can change someone's life, why don't you focus on that rather than focus on the fear? Fear will come. Whether you are the president of Ghana, whether you are the president of USA, whichever president you are or whatever you do, if you want to speak to audience that you maybe is your first time of speaking to, you're still going to be afraid. Because it's your body telling you that, oh, what am I going to face? What am I going to endeavor? But what they do that is different is that they are able to manage that. Some people, they hold the microphone, they are shivering, they are shaking, but others can hold that. Even though they are shaking, they are shivering, but you may never know. So that is what you need to do. Number one, practice. Number one, believe in yourself that your voice makes a difference. Number three, stop judging you. Judgment comes based on the fact that, oh, you're listening to yourself. If I go back to listen to this interview that we are doing, I'm going to identify a lot of grammatic errors, right? Some people will identify that, and that will never let them speak again. But you need to keep going, you need to keep speaking, and you need to keep appreciating the fact that communication is a process, and it's not the end results. So the last thing I want to add you to is get content. Speak about something. Speak about something. So if you're at home, you want to speak, know why you want to speak, and master that and work on that. If you want to become a leadership coach or expert, work on that. If you're a doctor, in my line of work, I've coached doctors, lawyers, ministers, members of parliament. Work on that. Don't be afraid. And don't let your certificate be the basis that, oh, I don't have a certificate, I cannot speak. Go out and make a difference. Go out and speak because your voice matters.
Go out and speak because your voice matters. Sometimes because of, you are shy and all that, you are not able to go out and speak. Now, let's look at, there's, after I have identified all that and I want to do that, there's one key point you mentioned about growing up in Ghana, or as Ghanaians, we are not given the opportunity to speak out loud.
Right.
What can parents do, in helping, or parents or the society do to help young people unearth their public speaking potentials?
Right. The first thing you should do as a parent is to believe in yourself first. Because the irony is that we have parents who want the best for their kids, but they can't even acquire the best for themselves. So if you're a father or mother or whatever it is, start to ask yourself questions. Can I speak in public? If I get a crowd of people to speak, can I do justice to that? Why am I saying this? Imagine your child is watching television, and by mistake, they see their father or their mother on TV. Maybe you may be an eyewitness to something, and you are the only person that they must interview. And you come there, you are just beating about the bush, doing like, your children will not be happy.
They won't be proud.
They will not be proud. They'll be shy, and the whole week, they may never even feel comfortable in school. So first of all, start to believe in yourself. Then secondly, your children, your kids, they go to school. Monday, Friday, they are still in school. Saturday, give them something practical to do. Don't send them back to go and learn English or maths, right? Give them things, send them to clubs like the Matter Inspires Foundation. Let them go and do reading. Let them go and do public speaking. Let them learn a skill. Let them go and learn skills like sewing, plumbing. These are skills that once they start to learn this, they will identify their passion. Why people don't speak is that they don't have a passion. I can tell you and give you examples of kids in Ghana who, because they found their passion, they are doing well. There's a young girl called Nakiat. There's a young girl also called DJ Switch. Right? You can see that they are confident. Why? Because they are working on something. So one, put them into skills that can help them develop their potential. Public speaking is not the end goal, But the end goal is that what skills do they have that they can use the public speaking to project. So someone is doing poetry, and because of the poetry, people invite that person to come and speak. And when the person stands up to speak, they know that I'm going to do poetry. There's someone who is doing DJing. There's someone who is doing sewing. So one, develop them by giving them the opportunity to explore the world. If you can still let them play games, right? But the question is, can they also create the games? Because you are seeing parents on TV or sometimes social media, they are proud that their children like the laptop. They take their phones and they are playing games and they are happy about that. The question is, your kids can also learn to create the same games and put them on social media for other people to play. And that can help them build and develop their skills. They can also learn to repair laptops just for passion. And with that, you are activating their sense of confidence, and they will do more.
Activating their sense of confidence. I like one thing you said about the parents should also believe in themselves. So the fact that you want the best for your child, know
Right.
that in your generation, certain things were different from now.
Right.
You highlighted apart from school. Let's look at our educational system.
Right.
Do you think it plays a role in enhancing public speaking?
Of public speaking, yes and no. There are two sides of the story. Yes, because sometimes you get to ask questions. Sometimes you get to also answer one or two things. But then it limits people based on the fact that, let's talk about this. We even have teachers who are only confident in their classroom. They move out of class and they cannot speak. If you think I'm lying, just take the camera out. Go to schools and ask that you want to interview teachers. You see the number of teachers who will decline. Right. So one is that we need to have people who are also confident enough. And the other thing is that we need to be conscious about communication. We need to be conscious about communication in our syllables. Because in Africa, one of the things you need to succeed is confidence. If you can speak well, if you can believe in yourself, you are positioned higher than others. So one, we need to be conscious about that. So in our primary schools, nursery schools, junior high schools, universities, let's make sure that we have curriculums that can help people to speak well with confidence. Let's give them activities to be able to perform, to do things that will just be deliberate about enhancing their public speaking and communication skills. Is it not sad that you still have PhD candidates who can speak in public? We have master students who are even finding it difficult to defend their thesis. Once they say, oh, you are going to do thesis defense, the whole week they will not feel comfortable. They can't sleep. Right? But these are basic things that we need to give people so that they can believe in themselves, develop their confidence, build their confidence, and know that it's very important. If you're also running an organization, you should take that same mantle to let your people know that communication is key. And once you know that communication is key, we can do more in terms of helping young people to develop their confidence. And that is the only way that we can get people to learn different skills, explore, and then understand that we have different cultural contexts, right, to communication. The way I communicate as a Sisala person may be a different way in terms of Gonja. The way you even dress, right, is different in different cultures and different contexts. And once you even know that, then you are better positioned to speak well. So our educational system, let's be deliberate about that. Let's be deliberate about confidence building, and that can help people to explore into other areas, other sectors. Because if you don't even have the confidence, you can't answer questions. They're going to fail in class. They'll ask you that, oh, can you summarize this passage? You know the answer, but you cannot write that because you don't even have the confidence to believe that what you're writing is okay or is bad or whatever. So sometimes you are just fondling around and doing things that hitherto are not important. So we can get there.
Yeah, so quickly, I want us to look at what must I do to build my confidence when I'm going for an interview, a job interview or any kind of interview.
when you say job interview, okay, I want to expand on that.
Okay. An interview
Interview or
or
maybe
defense
even
or
to build your confidence in life.
yeah.
One thing you should know is that you are going to the interview for them to interview you about things you already know. So in the interview, the first question they will ask you is that, who are you? Describe who you are and come and see. Someone will start by saying that, I want to, in this context, I want to even start speaking Dagbale. They ask you a question like, who are you? Then you start by, my mother is a tailor. My father is a carpenter. How does that go? Well, like, right? Then you are giving necessary stories.
Some will even be talking about their favorite
Their
food.
favorite food, primary school,
Yeah.
But what you should know or appreciate is that know the basics. Know that if they ask you, who are you? Number one, what are your experiences? What are your skills? Right? If you can add up to maybe what you've learned in school and things that are related to the job that you want to go and what apply for. So number one, practice your interview skills. Number two, know the questions they are going to answer. Number three, know yourself. Because they
How
are
do you
going to
know the
interview.
questions you are going to answer?
Yes. When you do a Google search, right, about interviews, they will tell you that, okay, the first thing they will ask you about, maybe if it's an accounting or administrative job interview, they are going to give you a list of all the questions that possibly they are going to ask. So if you know the guideline, know that the first question may be, no matter what, they should ask you about who you are. You should define who you are. They'll ask you about the skills that you have, right? What are you adding to the organization? And once they ask you those questions, you should be able to dig and know. The interview you are going to attend, that's not the first interview. There have been series of interviews. So when you know the trend, they know that, oh, no matter what, they are going to ask about me. So you can sit down, even pen down your own questions and know that, oh, if maybe my past experience, I left Martha in Spice, right? That's where I worked at.
Yeah.
They will ask you questions related to Martha.
Yeah.
What was your role? What were you doing? How were you doing what you were doing? You will see that, and most of the times, they ask you things in your CV. And it's surprising that sometimes, even when you look at the vetting going on in Ghana, they'll ask people basic questions, and they cannot even answer. They can't even answer those questions. But those things are in their CVs. So make sure you craft your CV well, so that there will not be inconsistencies. They say 2002, you're working at Martha and Spice. The same 2002, you're in school. The same 2002, you were at maybe Senate or whatever. You should be able to curb those things so that will boost your confidence. Why? Because if they ask you a question on your CV that is wrong, it is going to spoil your whole day. So you need to program yourself. You need to visualize yourself. See yourself winning before you even get into the interview more. What you shouldn't do is trying to get people's validation before going to the interview. How is that possible? You go to Mr. A, oh, I want to go to an interview. What should I say? Then they will give you all wrong answers. You go to the next person. What should I do? Okay, oh, when you go to the interview, when you go, knock first. And once you knock, when you go, don't sit.
Yes.
Wait for them to tell you to sit. These are all lack of confident things.
And some would even say, even if they say you should say, tell them that, oh, it's okay.
It's
We'll
okay.
stand until they say it again.
These are all people who are giving you wicked ideas. But just know that you are going for the skill set. Know that the job you are going for, that's not the only job. They need you more than you need them. So once you go, you are ready to defend what you know. At the end of the day, if they say, oh, because you came and sat down, we didn't ask you to sit down, you don't have manners, that is their problem. Because you are going to the interview for them to interview you, and at the end of the day, you get to know their communication rules, the values that they have, and they will teach you more. If you know this, you are good to go.
It helps all of us to, not term certain people as wicked and all of that, because at the end of the day, it's essential for us to know that public speaking would help all of us, so that, it's not going to help certain people, it's going to help all of us. The one asking the questions and the one answering the questions. It gives your communication a different kind of energy. But if you are communicating with somebody who is not confident, it becomes so boring.
Yeah.
So we all need to build our public speaking skills, because it will help us go a very long way. Let's take a break. When we are back, we delve into more. Growing up, it was so difficult finding answers to all the questions that bothered my young mind. As soon as I found my purpose and understood my mandate, I made it a mission to answer as many questions as possible bothering young people. I have mentored, inspired, and helped young people unearth their potentials through the Martha Inspires Foundation. However, I feel it is time to bring the conversation much closer to you. We have you in mind, you the young person. With my team of experts, we bring to you the Reflection Show, a show that focuses on addressing issues young people face, helping them to unearth their potentials, and giving them nothing but the best avenues in helping them solve issues that they may face in their young age. Join me, Martha Inspires, every Thursday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on Truth TV, the Reflection Show, restoring hopes. Welcome back from the break. We're still here looking at communication and public speaking and all that can help us to build our self-confidence. I want us to delve now into organizational communication. First of all, like, what is it even about when we talk about organizational communication?
Right. So, when we talk about organizational communication, there are a lot of things that come into mind. We have the internal communication, we have the external communication. In general, it's the brand the organization wants the world to see. How do they communicate to their customers, to their shareholders, to their stakeholders, and to all the people who are interested in whatever they do. So if you run an organization, you need to be mindful that majority of the organizations that fail in the world are due to communication issues. So you are not communicating to your staff, you are not communicating to the people who are interested in whatever you do, the way you even communicate to your customers. If it is bad, they are going to find a different way of getting the same service that you provide. So if you run an organization, you need to make sure that you empower your people to communicate the way you want them to communicate. In a normal day, you may just see a staff of an organization. You give the person a chance, you just ask the person a question. Oh, how is your organization? What is happening there? And they'll give you a rundown. Oh, CEO Maya, the CEO is this, that whatever is this, in this organization, this is what is happening. But that is not right. If that keeps on happening, your staff may even tell the whole world, your competitors, about what is happening in the organization, and they may use that against you. So if it is very important that if you run an organization, if you even run a political group, as we've seen in Ghana and other stuff, you need to be in their minds, empower them to know what to say and what not to say. Because there are times we just wake up and you see someone on TV, and you ask that person, who is this person? This person speaking for maybe NDC or MPP. Ask yourself, why will somebody just say some things like this? Why? Because we just allow people to communicate the way they want. We are not controlling what they should say, and we are not telling them or empowering them to know that it's not ethical or it's ethical to say A or B. And because we are not empowering them, they just go on a spree and they say whatever they want, however they want, and that can bring the organization down.
So, yes, I remember some time ago I was speaking with someone from a very reputable organization. Like, I was looking for support from that organization, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to, reach out to your boss, and then, and the person was like, and this day she's just been busy. We are even looking for her. That's how we are just managing her here. She's what? And I'm like, what? So then I was like, hey, so is that how my staff have also been gossiping about me? And she was just saying a lot of things. What? And I'm like, what do you mean by that's how you are managing her here? She has employed you. So she should even be the one to be managing you.
Yes.
So I think that when it comes to, organizational communication, how can, apart from training, what should employers do to help conversations not to necessarily go out, or certain disrespectful comments about, not even about the boss, but even about colleagues and people within the organization.
Right. So that is very important. Let me wear my dream village. Right. That is very important. And what I just did is communication.
Okay.
One thing you need to appreciate is that you need to have your internal rules and regulations. You need to know, how am I structuring my communication? Am I doing communication in a formal way, or am I using the informal structure? So your communication structure is very important as an organization. You need to know who does what, who says what, and that is why we have different departments. We have sometimes PR department, we have internal communication department, communication departments. We have a lot of them. And this tells you that if there's an issue, who should talk about that? If there's fire outbreak, who should come and talk about that? In the past, we've seen, even in the institutions like higher learning institutions, universities, and issues about maybe sexual assault will just come out. The school hasn't written anything about that. The university or the organization hasn't, but the information is already out there. Why? Because there are people who can zip their mouths and they think that, oh, I need to do that, and I need to say this, and I need to do that. But then it destroys the brand. Now we are in a social media era. Content creation is key. And you know that I can just pick my phone and start to say A, B, C, D. Sometimes you need to put in, before you employ people, you need to state all these things to let you know that, yes, your personal life is your personal life, but you cannot post A, B, C, D. We have organizations like GIZ, and they have strict rules about what you can post and not post as their employee. We have also other organizations that can even go to the extent to tell you that if you do any political posts on your personal social media, that may go against you. It's your private life. But because they want people to see them as neutral as possible, they don't want their organization or employees go around just snooping around and doing things or saying things that will not augur well in the organization. So as a corporate organization, you need to even move beyond the corporate structure and supersede what your people are doing. For example, if I come to your organization, Matter in Spice, I'm just watching on TikTok or social media, and I see a young lady or somebody who comes on the TikTok working for you, and the person starts to insult a particular tribe, or the person is there half naked, twerking and dancing, it may go against your brand. Because when they look at that person's profile, they'll see that, okay, staff
Matter in Spice,
Matter in Spice. And that will let people know that you are not even serious. So what I want you to know is that whether you're running a church, you're running a mosque, you're running a corporate organization, an NGO, be serious about that. You may not necessarily restrict your people from social media, but you need to control what they post. Because if you are looking for donors, if you are looking for grants, if you are looking for customers, sometimes based on what your people are posting, you may lose a lot of contracts just because of a post on social media, because of a post on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And it may not be you, the CEO, just an employee. So this is very important as an organization. So how do you overcome this? Occasionally organize trainings for them. Occasionally inspire them to let them know that what they even post can make or unmake them. And also let them appreciate that in this day and era, when you go for visa interviews, they look at your social media profiles. So if they are, visa, not even school, visa, talk about jobs, they will have to scrutinize all what you post on social media. Then once they start to post, look at that, they can even declare you as someone who is not fit in terms of mental health. Because some people, what they post actually, you feel like, why will you post this? But the reality is that we don't know what to post. So you are just there on TikTok, you are scrolling. You see somebody posting something, the person is getting likes. Then you say, oh, I'm inspired by that. The next day you're also doing the same thing. That is not how we post. Post things that you feel like when someone sees that, you'll not be disappointed. In the next 10 years, if I see that post, you will never be disappointed. If you have that mentality to post, to do good, I'm telling you, you can do more. So organizations, invest in your people, empower them, and make sure that you train them to post very well.
Yeah, because sometimes we forget that it's not just your personal life. Once you are affiliated to a certain brand, it's not just your personal life. I always say that people that are on this, except, an openly declared media house.
Yeah.
But there are some media houses that we know that you can't work with GTV and be biased in whatever that you want to post or share on social media, because that will automatically take you out. Or you can't work with the EC and, people may suspect you, but you cannot come and say that. That's why sometimes some EC chairs or EC officials do not even vote during elections.
Yeah.
So that it does not, inform certain decisions that they can make. Now, what can we do to overcome grapevine within the organization and also improve on effective communication?
There are a lot of things you can do. But I want you to also know that grapevine is also another way that you can get an information as the CEO or as a corporate organization. So you may not necessarily work on getting it completely rid of, because some organizations operate within maybe grapevine, the informal and formal structures. How do you do that? That's the question. The answer is simple. Make sure you know what sources of grapevine information that you need to monitor. Make sure you know, and know who is the one spreading the information the most, so that you can use that person to correct the ills in the society, and also use that person to be able to do more. Grapevine gives you speed, right, in terms of information. Your information structure may be that, okay, I have to send an email to the operations. Operations send the email to what? To Mr. A or B. But there are times you want to take quick decisions, right? So you, the CEO, or you, the person who is in charge, you need to know, who can I send this information to, right? We call them professional gossips. And they will let everybody know that information. So you need to have a blend of the two, informal and formal structures. But then what you need to do is that make sure that you even understand what they are communicating. If you realize that, okay, the informal structure, the grapevine, is sending information that can head the organization, then all you need to do is that you step in, still organize trainings, and make sure that you are able to help that. There was one man who was posted to a bank as the MD of the bank. So when he went there, he already did his research to know that, oh, this place, that particular bank, they gossip a lot. And the gossip spans from the fact that people, and before I forget, let me add this. If you are the CEO of the organization, everybody would like to give you the information. Everybody would like to come and tell you this is happening, just to get your favor, right? So what he did was that he went into the organization, researched about that, asked the past CEO, MD, and he gave him rundown about what is happening. So his first assignment, first week, he was in the office, and someone came to the office and told him that, hey, this just some gossip. So he went to the banking hall, where everybody is, the teller, every worker is that, and called, oh, Martha, come. Martha said, this person said you said ABC about me. Is that true? And the person was standing there. So, will you dare to go and gossip up to this?
You will never do
you
that.
Never. So that person was, and that was his strategy.
To stop grapevine.
To stop grapevine in terms of that type of gossip that is not healthy.
Hey, so he just comes and say, Kofi Ama says that.
Ama says that. You call Kofi first. Kofi, you come. And everybody's there. like general, the whole where the staff will be. It may be a
Wow.
meeting. And so, okay, oh, Kofi, do you remember you told me this? That Amma said, you said ABC about me. Amma, you are here. Kofi, can you repeat that again? And it stopped drastically.
Hey, everybody will be afraid.
Everybody will be
'cause
afraid.
you'll be
So you
fired.
need to give them that fear factor, right? To let them know that there are certain things that are not important and necessary. And in organization, it's like that. People want to pull each other down. So you see, this person will go and say A, B, C, D, and this person will say, oh, A, B, C about that person. Sometimes it's not even true. We know in school, in the school structure, or even in organizational or corporate organization, when they are planning for strikes, demonstrations, the people who start the demonstration may not be the people leading that. Because for them, they don't want people to know that they are the ones in charge. So they come and gossip, they come and say this. When it is time, then they will hold back. Then, why the essence of what you started? So you need to be able to take control of that. As an organization, it's very important. Your communication structure is very important. In Ghana, what I've seen is that many people don't even train their staff about communication. One day they'll come and do leadership skills. It's very important. They'll come and do customer service. It's very important. But what you should be concerned about is communication. Communication is important. And that is why you see that in most of the organizations these days, the people they employ are communication minded. So if you're also here, you want to take a course in terms of accounting, marketing, go and learn how to communicate. Because communication is key. Take a course on communication. And once you take a course on communication, you can be able to market the products and services.
Yeah.
You can be able to do HR. You can be able to do what it is in terms of if you want to do PR. All these are communication related things. Because as an individual, communication is important. Organization, communication is important. If you are running a political party, communication is important. Church, whatever you do, you need to teach people, empower people to communicate properly. Because if you don't do it well, they will bring you down. A simple leak in your communication gap may destroy your brand, tarnish your brand. If you're not able to communicate well, I'm telling you, you are doomed. So you need to learn even in terms of crisis, what do you say, what do you do, how do you handle that? You don't let it escalate. On social media communication is also very important. Sometimes even organizations, when an issue comes up, right? A simple trick, and everybody's talking about that on social media. As the organization, you don't go
Don't
on.
rush, yes.
No, you don't go on and you also start
To defend
yourself. They'll give it to you.
And there are times that, because of the pressure, everybody is saying that, and this happened, and then, for 12 hours, 24, or even 48 hours, the organization have not come to make. And sometimes I tell people that they need to think through on what to, because whatever they say will be used against
Yes,
them.
whatever you say will be used against you. So you see that people are commenting about that. They post that on the web portal. And you as an organization, you also go, you are typing. You can never win because you have faceless people on social media.
A lot.
For them, they troll 24 hours. So all you just need to do is to understand the game. It may even take you a week
Yeah.
or a month. Then you come out, you send a PR out to let people know that, oh, they said A, B, C, D about our organization, but that may not be true.
Yeah.
And once you debunk that, then you start to market that, to use that and do. There was a time in one of the universities, someone was, they tagged somebody as like a rapist in their organization, one of the top universities in Ghana. And people, they were bashing them on Twitter, they were doing whatever. They had to take their time. They waited for, it was a week. Then they came out, they debunked the allegations, and now it is okay. Why is this important? It's important because when people start to search about your organization, the allegations will come up first.
True.
If they don't see your personal stance on that, then the allegation stands. But if the allegation comes, but then you come to debunk that, you see that it will fill the chat, the SEOs that people use in terms of Google or whatever, when you debunk that, it fills that. and you are able to get away with that. So take your time, learn the process, build the process, empower the process, but then please, it takes money, it takes resources to do that. You have to bring people to train your staff. You have to let them see the world in a different perspective. You have to change their mindset, their narratives. The narrative of we used to do this way, and these days and time, things have changed. So you need to let them know that there are different ways of doing different things, but the brand is very important.
Yeah.
The brand is very important for your organization. Your individual brand as a worker is also very important. And once they believe in that, I'm telling you, you are going to get things done. And in a minute, things will get okay.
Yeah, because the public would always want to hear from you. I remember when this issue of Team Eternity came on copyright issues with,
Yes.
Someone else who said that they had taken a portion of his songs, and everybody kept saying, and why are they not, saying anything? Why are they not speaking? And they never really came out to say anything. I think they went back door to solve it, and then later on they now came out with a statement. So I believe that when it comes to communication, look at the person your communication is going to, help solve. Their communication was to the people directly.
Yes.
Not necessarily to the public. And when they now had done all that underground communication and they now came to the public, everything was now gone. But if they had come to the public first to try to debunk and, say whatever, before going to the source of the issue, then it would have created a whole lot of issue, because whether they were right or they were wrong, at that point, their brand was at stake. So sometimes I feel that if your brand is at stake, take the best measure and not what the public is saying. You see, social media, when an issue comes, I remember I saw something, there's this pastor whose, issues went off on, came up on adultery allegations and stuff. Then I think within a week or two, the other issue came with also a counselor who had divorced there. Then and the pastor was like in Ghana here, within a week your issue would die. And they had moved on to a different trend. But if you don't manage, PR well, your brand is always going to be at stake. So I think that, we've spoken a lot. Give us your final words on public speaking, organizational communication, and the things that we must, know and be careful of, and everything.
Right. There are a lot of things that you can do. As an individual, learn to develop your public speaking and communication skills. Appreciate the fact that you are in competition with everybody, because we all want success, career advancements, promotions, opportunities, and stuff. If you are not able to even communicate your God-given talent, forget about that. Talent is not enough. Talent is never enough, and talent will never be enough.
Yeah.
It takes you to step up and say, this is what I want to do. And you be consistent with your communication style. You be consistent with what you want to do, and know that your communication can make a big difference in your life. In the corporate world or individual lifestyle, some people are cut off just because they are not able to communicate well. Some people cut people off, people they brought into their circle to help. But because those people can't even keep their mouths shut, you go to, for example, let me maybe use your pastor as an example. Maybe Pastor Fans calls me. Then, let's go out, let's go and eat, let's go for lunch. Then you go there. He's making a call, right? Because you are close to him, you can't keep your mouth shut. You go out there, hey, Pastor, do you know what?
Pastor Fant is my friend.
No, even not friend. Or I overheard him speak or say this and say that. When he realized that he's going to cut you off. Why? Because you are not able to communicate well. So communication simply means that there are things you have to say, and there are things you have to send to your grave. Why? Because you need to keep your mouth shut. It's not everything that you have to talk about.
Yeah.
On social media, if something happened today, there's a news item, you get onto it, you are speaking, next day another thing, people will never take you serious. Make sure that you are consistent with one thing, and the whole world will know that this is what you are communicating. Whatever we do, is what we communicate.
Yeah.
What you eat, what you dress, your dress, the way you speak, your lifestyle, your attitude, your consistency. You are telling the world what they should know about you. If you have an organization, you want funding, you want big contracts, you want people to support you, to invest in you, you should communicate that. What tone are you using? Are you shouting? Do you believe in yourself? Do you go to places that will help you communicate better? Are you taking that conscious steps to make sure that you communicate and you speak to yourself? So let's start from the kids. Let's empower our kids to become good communicators by giving them the chance, the coaches to coach them. Let's empower organizations. Let's empower member of parliaments to communicate better, because it's something that we are dealing with the world. The competition is not Ghana. And I want to say that, pass this to maybe the top hierarchy of Ghana or whatever it is. Let's communicate the brand Ghana. I don't even want to see anyone sick and the person goes outside Ghana to get treatment as a minister or member of parliament. Russia will never do that. US president is too big to say, oh, I'm sick, let's bring me to Ghana. Because that you are dimming your own light. So let's communicate well, and let's let the world see the good side of us. If we don't speak, someone will speak for us. If CNN speaks for Ghana, it's not going to be good because how do you expect them to speak for us? So let's communicate well, let's tell our own stories. Let's believe in ourselves and let's go and make a difference.
Let's believe in ourselves and let's go and make a difference. Speak for your brand. You don't always have to let people say things about you, because if CNN comes to Ghana, they're only going to see our thatch houses and, you know, our kids who are sitting on stones in the classroom. But there are also classrooms or schools in Ghana that are doing so very well. I have been speaking with Mr. Ibrahim Mustapha, conference speaker, author, public speaking coach, among many other great things that he's doing here in Ghana, especially in the northern region, helping all of us to unearth our potential. You know, he's also a trainer, so if you want to get in touch with him to train your team or your staff on communication and all the things that he has spoken about on the show, he's the right person to get into contact with. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martha Wintbice. Do have a good night.